Good afternoon, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to talk about number 54 of the Catechism with respect to knowing God through the steps of revelation, and where He made the first step talking with us, revealing Himself to us through our first parents of Adam and Eve. And in this video I'm also going to reference the idea of parenting and how to not feel discouraged when we raise our kids, when it seems at times we are trying to do the right thing and our kids may not understand what we're doing, in the sense that, all right, we're trying to show them the way to live a good life, but sometimes we have to be a discipline and role model. And sometimes those moments can be very heartbreaking when we have to raise our children and to say, no, that's not the right thing to do. But this is kind of an encouragement to parents as well. This video is what I'm trying to get at, and to learn from our parents' mistakes and to move forward and to be better the next time as role models for not only our kids, but for other people as well. And I think this will be a great topic to discuss further. So let's get this started. So here's number 54 of the Catechism with respect to knowing God through the stages of revelation. In the beginning, God makes Himself known. Number 54, God, who creates and conserves all things by His word, provides man with constant evidence of Himself in created realities. And furthermore, wishing to open up the way to heavenly salvation, He manifested Himself to our first parents from the very beginning. He invited them to imitate communion with Himself and clothe them with resplendent grace and justice. And continuing with the theme I was going to share with everyone in this video, where Adam and Eve, right? We know the classic story of where they went to the garden, right, and had the forbidden apple from the tree of knowledge. And it was like, that may have not been the right course of action, of course, because then we fell into sin, fell out of grace. Adam and Eve left the garden itself. And so we were no longer in paradise, and now death was in the world, in the reality that we live in today. Sicknesses, I would also argue blindness, other ailments that came into our existence because we were no longer in a state of grace, no longer immortal, and now we're no longer in paradise. And so now we are living, struggling to survive. And it's like, oh man, if we had not eaten from the forbidden tree of knowledge, right? What would happen? How would we be today? Would we be in another state? Would we really be in a state of grace, in the sense that, oh wow, I'm never hungry, or I can levitate, etc.? That intimate union with God, and you wonder, wow, what we would have been. So we got to wait till we get there to heaven, I would say. But then I'll bring this into mind with the context of the video, where God makes Himself known to us through them, in the sense that, yeah, Adam and Eve, they were created perfectly in the beginning. They were beautiful. No sin, in a state of grace completely. There was no blemish, no mark on them that was improper, because when you think about it, they were perfect in that they were God's creation, the very first, those people made in His image. And it's a beautiful thing to reflect on. And so then when we consider, okay, they made the fall, they survived, and it's like, okay, how are they going to survive now from the fall, moving forward with Cain and Abel and the rest of the story in the Bible, in the Old Testament? And right, there were struggles, right? Of course, you know the story of Cain and Abel, and how, okay, as parents, one of their sons kills the other, and it's like, oh man, I wish they would probably say, why didn't we talk with our sons? Why weren't they in love? We thought they were, but yet they turned against each other. They were a house divided. And just to share this with every parent out there, don't give up on your house or your kids as far as wanting the best for them, because even if a house is divided, we can always pray for that unity, for that tie, that bond to unite in the family, to get stronger over time, to remember that no matter what things happen in reality, the world, at school, politics, sports, etc., there are good moments in life too where we can bond together as a family. An outing, going camping, to the movies, the restaurants, right? Even the small things, as far as giving our parents a hug and all those little things, those really matter, and they go a long way beyond what we see. And just, I want to give you parents encouragement to not give up, especially when it comes to discipline and trying to raise your children the right way. And yeah, there'll be moments where we're afraid to say the right thing and say, no, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't cuss at that other kid when you were in the playground. You should not have done this, etc. Other times you can say, well, I wish my kid had stood up for himself. I wish that he had done this for himself that would have made him stronger and better. So there's that regard as well for parenting. So if you can encourage your children, please, I'm not discouraging that either. I'm just saying, just be aware that when your kids grow up at school with other kids, things are going to happen. And so to life, it will be, and we must respect life as it will be, Right, I just made a rhyme right there, but I just think as far as us helping our kids to be role models, to be strong, to be creative, to help each other out, our kids really notice everything that we do, that we say, and it should not go unnoticed. But these are the little things that do, because we're so busy and caught up with our work, our life, the people we're busy talking with, out in the community, our faith, etc. And then how do we remember to keep track and to take care of the people in our life? And so I'm going to bring this into this point conversation as well. Who are you a parent for in this moment today? Are you a parent to a friend who doesn't have a parent? Are you an adopted child and you're looking for that role model? Are you a foster child, right? Where are you from in regard to this, of the context of the video? And even as an adult, who's your parent at this moment when you realize, wow, okay, maybe I do need someone to take care of me? And so, right, a caretaker, I think that counts as a parent because they're taking care of you. And yeah, you could give them advice, but they also, the caretaker can give you advice too. So let's always hope that we find a good caretaker that watches out for our parents, grandparents, etc. as they get older. And yes, the kids, if you're able to help your parents, grandparents, that's a great thing too. But if it's a struggle, right, try to find a good person to take care of them later in life, because that is a very delicate time, and we want our older generations people to be safe, especially in homes and in environments where we don't know what's happening. And so I would argue further that it's good to call up on our relatives just to make sure they're okay. That's one way to be a parent for somebody. Maybe talking with a friend who's not doing well in this moment, and you call them and say, hey, how are you doing right now? Are you doing okay? Because being a parent is a role model, and the role model is you making that step to go out first. And so Adam and Eve, they went out first. They were living well in paradise. They were in grace. Then they made the mistake and fell after they ate the apple. And then they continued on afterwards with Cain and Abel, but then that misfortune of the sons going against each other. And then just, you can imagine the pain that is too terrible to express. But I'll just share this with you, to not give up as a parent when your kids go astray or do something. And so my prayers are for you and your kids, is what I'm trying to say too in this case, to not give up. And I hope all your kids are growing up safe and strong, and they'll raise their families in a strong environment as well. We can learn from the mistakes of our parents as well and do better, right? And that is the goal of every child, learning from the parent. And I hope all of you are doing great as kids, if you are watching this, to not give up on yourself and to raise families. And so I know I'm kind of going on a ramble right now, but I just want the best for families in this world, and we need more good families. And so that is for me, Mike the MC, on Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well. No, don't give up. Always remember, to go first is to be a role model, and to be a role model is being a parent. So who are we going to help today in this moment today? And what are we going to do to ask someone, hey, do you need some help, or do you need someone to talk with? Let's be that role model, that counselor for someone in need. All right, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care, and remember, be the role model, and everyone will follow you. Have a good one.